Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, welcome to Mahr's webinar. Today we're going to be talking about the new MarSurf M300 portable roughness measuring system. Hello, I'm George Schutz, Director of Precision Gauges at Mahr Incorporated in Providence, Rhode Island. And we're going to be talking about the new product. This is our product launch for the M310. So this is something new and exciting, and I think that you'll find this very educational and entertaining this afternoon. At any time, if you have any questions, you can use the question or chat bar on your webinar screen. We will record those, and I will answer those personally after we send the recording to you. So the MarSurf M300 guaranteed success. The M300 is our new roughness measuring instrument for mobile use in the workshop. It's a highly precision instrument using the stylus method of roughness measurement, and it's great for small or large workpieces. You know, everybody today is used to using their smartphone to getting all types of responses and how it's used and so forth. Well, this is the same concept with the M310. If you have prior knowledge of the smartphone, you can become a quality control expert using the MarSurf. You don't need any prior knowledge of quality control or the skidded measuring system. With its easy-to-use interface, the M310 is a great addition to your quality control team. We'll talk about some of the important features about the MarSurf M310, and I think the most important one is the starred feature there. But before we go there, if you look at this product, you might seem to say, well, it looks kind of like the PS10. The PS10 was our first version of this new line of portable surface finish instruments using the same smartphone concept and technology. Well, the M310 takes that product next step further. And the main important features about this is the various interfaces that are available on the M310. It has a USB Type A socket, it has a micro USB socket, and it has a MarConnect connection on it for its talking to Marcom and all the various important features of that. But we're going to talk about that a little bit later. Going clockwise around the picture, we have the same large 4.3-inch touchscreen display, which you can rotate. It's a glass display, so it's very scratch resistant. The M310 has two LEDs for giving an indication of charging and when it's operating. It has a hard plastic start-stop button that's meant to be used a lot in the shop floor. It has a removable probe just like the PS10 and also comes with a probe protection device. The drive is removable, so you can mount that into stands or for putting into special applications. You have 3 freely programmable function keys, which you can assign to saving data, setting tolerance, etc. It has the integrated removable calibration standard like we have with the PS10. And the other big difference with this product, it has a Bluetooth printer available for you so that you can record profiles, material ratio curves, etc., right at the point of manufacture. Well, you might say to yourself, well, you know, paper printouts, and that must be something coming from the past. Well, not really. Very often it's important and an easy way of communicating information to others by having this paper chart. And I think lots of people will find this useful when using the M310. Let's take a look at some of the operational features here. We talked about the large touchscreen display, easy as a smartphone to use. We have incorporated all the international standards, so we're compliant to them. But what we do is we also provide a unique automatic cutoff selection feature that, based on the measurement result, is going to pick the right settings for that trace. So again, the operator doesn't need any specific knowledge or setting up the unit. This can all be done automatically for them. The M310 also logs all the measurements and the profiles in a PDF file on the device. No additional software is required for that. And you can just plug the M310 into your PC, and it acts like a memory stick, so that the computer can now look at that memory stick, see the PDF files, and you can view them through your PDF viewer. You can also import the PDF report text directly into those by using the keypad that's built into the M310, so you can customize these charts if you wanted to, by adding a note about the measurement process or who did the measurement. Things like that can also be added to the PDF file. Let's check out some of the software features. Just like a powerful surface-mounted measuring system, the M300 comes with 31 surface parameters. So it's very powerful, but it still can be held within the palm of your hand. You can display and print out the material ratio curves or amplitude density curves. You can put tolerances into the unit, and you can see across the bottom there's a couple of displays where it shows red and green. Those are actual tolerance indications to the user that part is in or out of tolerance.
I'm listening to George's webinar to make sure there's no problem.
Okay. Hey, Lori, I can hear you. Specifications of setting the amplitude depth can be done in actual dimensions or a percentage, so that the user has lots of ways of analyzing the information. Some other software features, because this acts like a memory stick, there's a ton of memory to store measurement results. You can store at least 500,000 measurement results in PDF formats on the device, but you still have the ability to add additional memory, and you can increase that factor by over 300. So lots of ability to store data on the unit. Like I said, it measures all the standards in accordance to the various DIN, ISO, ASME, JIS, or MOTIF formats. And you can save measuring programs through Mahr's quick and easy program, which is available for free. And like I said, we can also assign, just like you do with the PS10, assign specific functions to the display, so they're quick and easy for the operator to pull up. And we know that there's a new roughness standard in process, is being developed. It's going to be taking effect in 2021, but the MarSurf 310 already has those new standards incorporated. So we're already up to date and ready for the new standards. But the nice and important feature about the M310 is that it's easy for the operator to update the operating system in the unit. So when new standards come out, or there's a program change or a new feature is added, this can be easily downloaded from the Mahr website and put into the M310. We'll talk more about that in a little while. Let's look at some of the hardware features. The USB Bluetooth printer is available. It comes with a docking station, so you can directly print out the profiles and the curves from your results. On the bottom, you can see that there's 2 LED displays for the user, one signifying that the battery is charging, the other signifies that the measurement is running or it's transferring data. That's a blue light. If that light turns to red, that's a message error to the user, and you can find out what is going wrong with the system. The system incorporates a rechargeable battery. You can get over 1,200 measurements without having to recharge the device. And the start button is made out of an oil-resistant plastic so that you can use this thousands and hundreds of thousands of times without damage to that button. Just like the PS10, the probe and drive unit is removable from the evaluation unit, so it gives you more flexibility. You can build that into stands and special gauges and so forth. It has a portable height adjustment fixture that is provided. We'll see that in a minute. You have your integrated calibration standard, and all this comes in a sturdy transport case, and you can put all your accessories in this one travel case. The standard probe, which is the standard probe that Mahr uses across many products, can come in a 2 or a 5 micron radius tip. And you can see from the pictures that this is a flow-through design of probe. It's an open skid, it's a skidded system, but because it's open, if any dirt or oils or contamination gets in there, you can clean that out with a fine hairbrush. And you can see that that probe can fit into a lot of small places, IDs and ODs, etc. Now let's talk about the interfaces, one of the big features about the new M310. Well, the first one is the MarConnect duplex interface. And this directly interfaces with Marcom Professional, a free software package that you can download from the Mahr website, and we'll talk some details about that in a minute. We have an SD slot for your micro SD or chip that you can increase the memory up to 32 gigs, storing all the profiles, results, measuring ports, etc. And like I said, we can update the software should any changes come along. There's a USB-A interface for connecting the USB Bluetooth adapter for the printer, a barcode scanner, or even a keyboard. And there's a micro USB interface for connection to a PC or for charging. This is where the M310 can be plugged into your PC, and you can use it as a memory stick, viewing all the PDF files that you have on the system. For remote control, we can use that interface for ASCII commands, telling the system to start a measurement, provide its results, etc. A great way to put this into automatic gauging solutions. The M310 includes a new feature that is been designed or developed by the International Automatic Task Force. This is a group for the automotive industry in Europe, but it's coming to the US also. And it's an organization which develops and recommends standards for the industry to help the industry improve. Just like the MSA was designed to help people do GR&R studies, this type of group does the same thing for the automotive industry. And what this does is it's allowing the gauge to have a unique identification number. And the idea behind that is, well, you record data with the measurements, you can put that into your PC, and you can store the data for the parts. You probably know the part numbers, but you really don't know what gauge was used to measure that part. And because you don't know that, you don't know if that gauge was calibrated or was the right gauge or et cetera. So what this does, this recommendation does, is it asks for gauges to have identification numbers so that you can get traceability of the products and assign the measurement equipment to the product batches. And this is done with the MarConnect duplex cable. So because it uses this cable, we can identify and the gauge ID number with the product. So now you can document not only the measured values, but you can also document the instrument that was used to perform the check to ensure traceability of your measurement results. So you can do this documentation through the free Marcom software. Go to Mahr.com and you'll be able to locate the software. Starting in September 1st, it's going to support the M310. And you can see that on the right-hand side there, this is what a setup screen looks like for Marcom or MarConnect. And you can see that there's a part number and a space for a serial number. And this is the gauge ID number. So now, whenever a piece of data is recorded, you can also have the gauge ID number come along and be part of that measurement results, documenting for yourself what instrument made the measurement. And you can see here that this is an example where we've put the duplex cable into the system. We can transfer the instrument into an Excel table, and you can document the gauge ID and the results. And with Marcom has a unique feature to be used with various Microsoft programs, Word, for example, through text files or through Excel, and you can actually set up routines of where in the Excel file that data is going to go. Very powerful but free program available from Mahr. We also provide a free roughness viewer with software from Marwin. The Marwin roughness viewer is a simple way of logging the collected measurements. Again, it's free from the Mahr website. It allows you to do some evaluating and filtering of the measured results as performed on the MarSurf M310. So again, it's a very powerful but free tool for you to use. Again, if you have any questions, don't be afraid to put them into the chat box, and I will answer them for you later on. So here are some of the viewers that you can things that you can do there. You can create the reports which have 100 or more profile files. You can easily configure reports to the MRC or ADC results. You can profile with marked motives. You can profile with the results. You can do statistical analysis of the data, print it, save it as a PDF file, or edit the text that's part of the file. Because we have the USB connector on there, one of the things that we can do is program or set up the M300 using a barcode scanner. So envision that a user who may not be that well versed in setting up the M310, even though it is easy to use, you can have a barcode as part of the tracking documentation that's coming along with that batch of parts. So by simply plugging in a barcode scanner into the M310, scanning the barcode, now all the setup parameters, the filters, the trace lengths, etc., can be downloaded into the M310, and now he just has to start the green button and begin making his measurements. So this barcode scanner is something that's capability is built into the M310 and can be used very easily by the operator. Here's an example of that, the USB slot there. We said it could be used for connecting a Bluetooth reader, but you could also plug in a keyboard so that you can help or make it a little bit easier to edit your header text and so forth through the keyboard. While there is a touch keyboard on the M310, a full-size keyboard is also available and maybe a little bit easier to use. The new serial interface using the micro USB interface is a great feature for putting this product into automated reports or automated processes. So now you can command the M300 via ASCII commands to do lots of different things, like starting a measurement. So you can take the M310 and its drive, maybe build it into an automated gauging platform or into a dedicated surface finish tool for the shop floor, and control that M310 through your PLC or some other PC device that you have. So you can give it a command to start the measurement. The M310 will calculate the results, and then it will transfer the measurement data string to the PC. Now here's an example. You know, ASCII codes are something that are easy to use. So for example, typing the command star, which for start will start the measurement under the current measuring conditions. We're going to calculate those measurements, and they can be shown here, and they can be transferred to the PC. Another command will, if you have results, a carriage we return will send the results out back to the PC for storage. All done through the micro USB interface. You can also use that same interface for changing settings on the MarSurf 310. By using the quick and easy file format, you can download and set up the M310 easily without any errors by the operator, changing things like tracing length, cutoff, units of measure, etc. Again, a powerful interface making the M310 easier to use. And because we're using this interface, the serial number or the article number of the gauge is part of that. So now you can get the ID of what gauge measured that part. Along, you can also query for the device what trace length it's used, what cutoffs were used. All that is available from this micro USB interface. So now you can fully control the system with this interface, and if any error message come along, the M310 will send that error message. You can look and understand what's going on. You can also have a two-way communication so that if a remote viewer of the measurement results sees something unusual, an out of tolerance condition or results that don't look proper, you can send messages back to the M310 stating that maybe you should make that measurement again, or that value is not right. You can have a communication back and forth between a remote user and the M310. Well, this is in German. This is an example of what the user might see. So the user is up in his office monitoring the results from maybe an automated or a semi-automated process. And now that user can talk back to the user of the gauge, telling him that there's something wrong and maybe you should make a measurement again. Because of the remote drive, it's very easy now to use the drive system from the M310 as an integrated part of Marwin's easy roughness software. So now you can take that information directly from the gauge into the PC with no other interface via the cable or the Bluetooth adapter, making the M3 even more powerful with the additional software. Let's take a look at just some examples of how the M310 might be used out on the shop floor. Because you can take the drive and mount it into various stands, you can make this a surface plate or benchtop surface finish measuring system with or without the printer. We have various stands that are available, but most stands are capable of taking the adapters available with the M310, and you might be able to use this on your own stands. You can use the M310 to do OD measurements or ID measurements. The M310 kit is provided with this hand V, and which incorporates a height adjustment, which is a very easy to use but powerful little stand for difficult to get to measurements on a wide series of parts. You can use the same stand to mount on larger parts, or by turning it upside down with its built-in V, you can make outside measurements on very small parts. One of the great things about the M310 and its remote control facilities and abilities and the ability to remove the drive is now you can build the drive system into a lot of custom application solutions where it's dedicated to the measurement. The operator doesn't have to try and position the probe into a small hole or deep into a bore. We can come up with special applications to make it a lot easier for the user. And we can control that remotely, and of course have the USB printer there to give the operator results at the point of measurement. Now it's easy to make roughness measurements in production, whether it be large parts or small parts. Here's a few examples of the M300 being used on the shop floor on some very large parts with and without the removal of the drive system. Here's a large tractor manufacturer using this the M310 on some large parts. This would be very difficult to bring the part to a gauge or a stand. Now we can make these measurements where the part is being machined, and it's very easy for the operator to get his roughness measurements. The M310 also comes with a drive, a C2 drive for transverse scanning. So when you have roughness parameters that you're trying to measure on a shaft or something and you want to go with the axis, the drive does that, and now you can measure crankshafts, camshafts, bearing points, etc. with the transverse drive. All the probes and accessories and extensions that are available with the PS10 are available with the M310, so they have the same probes are available. Nothing new is required. We know that we'll be making these probes, and they're ideal for the M310 applications. All the same accessories that were available with the PS10 are available: mounting brackets, stands, holders for different applications, different reference standards. They're all consistent with the M310. Some newer accessories, the new duplex cable is now available for the two-way communications with MarConnect. The standard, the built-in standard is available. We can also get that trace to NIST if you want. We have a new magnetic holder for the MarSurf M310 shown in the lower left here, where it's a magnetic base that can be used with the M310, and it will hold the M310 in place on a large part. So you don't have to worry about the operator not holding it properly or maybe slipping off. The magnetic base will hold this in place. We also offer some optional display protection films, which are real glass, to further protect the display system on the PS10 or M310 from scratches or use in the shop floor. There's a lot of technical data here. You can view this when we send you a copy of this webinar, but this is a very portable but powerful system. Again, with all the same type of features that you might find in a laboratory grade roughness system, all packed into an easy to use package in the M310. And talking about the memory capacity, the weight, and so forth, you'll be able to review those at your leisure when we send you a copy of this. The M310 comes in a number of different kits. You can get the kit without the printer. This is what we're showing here. Although the printer is marked off, you can see that you get this in a nice case. There's also a transit case that's part of the M310, which you can take out, but you get the roughness instrument, the probe protection, the handheld V block with adjustments, the power supply, the USB cables, the extension cable for making the drive remote, a folding card of MarSurf surface parameters, the carrying case, and the transport case. This is the version in a 2-micron tip. We also offer this in a 5-micron tip. Here's the same scope, but now it has the printer in it. So you get the Bluetooth printer, the Bluetooth adapter, its charger, all part of the same package that we would get without the printer. Here's the various part numbers that are available. The kit without the printer in a 2 or a 5-micron. The kit with the printer in a 2 or 5-micron probe tip. You can also buy the set without the probe in case you need to have you don't need the standard probe. So now you can buy the kit without the probe and buy the special probe that you need. We also offer the M310 with the transverse drive, the C2 drive with the 2-micron tip, and you can also buy the printer separately if you want to buy that later on sometime. Here's a little bit about pricing of the M310 kit. You know, the M310 is replacing the M300 system that we had, which has just recently been being discontinued. And this is about at a price point that's about $1,000 less than that system. So you're getting a system that has all the features, maybe a little bit easier to use at a better value. So you can see the prices here with and without the printer, with the transverse drive, and with the printer sold separately. There's some tools that are available to use. When you get a copy of this, you'll be directed to the link for the M310. At that place, you can see some technical information. You'll be able to download the 2-page brochure, which is shown here, and Again, this again links to the Mahr site, and you can get the information about MarConnect and the quick and easy software, all available at mahr.com. So that's the M310 in a summary. I want to thank you for your attention. The M310, like I said, is a new product, has all the same features as the PS10, but it takes it a step further with the remote printing, the ability to store more data, control, send out identification, etc. So I think it's a very great value that you should take a look at. So thank you for attending, and if you have any questions, don't forget to send them in.